It's Wednesday, October 15th. Today, mixed reviews for a plan to house people at risk of being homeless on city land. Frustrated and out thousands of dollars after a tutoring center in Winnipeg abruptly closed its doors. And appealing to a political base. The new ad from the Ontario government aimed at American tariffs. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. I'm Catherine Dow in for Rochelle Legacy, joined by Daniel Halmerson in for Terry Gale. We've got so much on the go today, including Ainsley McPhail, who's made her way down to Agape table. We know the need for food bank services has really skyrocketed in our province. She's going to be learning about what they're seeing on the front lines, how you can support what they do, be it for a donation or your time. She'll have details off and on throughout the show. Plus, they've got a new facility. And Daniel, I gotta say, it's starting to feel much more like October. We were really blessed with some nice conditions, although now it's really starting to get that brisk kind of fall feel.
Well, luckily the next few days are going to be around seasonal averages, hovering around 10 to 12 degrees right now. 5 degrees in Winnipeg under cloudy skies. The wind out of the south-southeast at 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping and the humidity sitting at 94%. It's been a pretty uninspiring overnight. Very mild temperatures throughout the province. Not a lot of wind to look at either. But as we head through the day, we'll see a storm system developing later in the day. Plenty of cloud coverage over much of Manitoba as we head into Wednesday evening. As we move overnight, that's when we're going to see this system move through much of southern Manitoba. The north should be spared for the next couple of days, but chances we shall see some rain here in Winnipeg and much of the south as we head into Thursday. And I'll move over this side because our friends in northeast Ontario are going to see the brunt of it tomorrow as we move into Thursday, and another one rolling through heading into Friday. So wet, but not too bad of a start to the midweek, right? It's already Wednesday. But as we look at your 7-day forecast, high of 12 today, a little above seasonal, that rain expected Thursday and Friday. Mix of sun and cloud heading into the weekend, highs of 11. That's when those nighttime lows dip down to a little closer to those seasonal normals as well.
Thank you, Daniel. The city wants to make 5 properties available for housing to help address the chronic homelessness problem. Those in favor call the move exciting and bold, but there are many who say their neighborhood will have to make a big sacrifice. CTV's Jeff Keel explains.
A plan to house people at risk of being homeless on city land is getting mixed reviews. And this small patch of green space in the West End is at the center of the debate.
Don't want to lose the green space. No, it doesn't make sense.
I think it's a great plan. I think there needs to be more affordable housing.
A public hearing is scheduled to consider if the city should sell or lease 5 properties for $1 so social housing organizations could use the sites for supportive housing at 546 Sherbourne Street, 626 Stella Avenue, 2546 McPhillip Street, 1168 and 1172 Plessis Road, and 75 Poseidon Bay. The housing is intended for people moving from encampments and hospitals, youth leaving care, refugees, and those with mental health needs.
I wanted to do the very thing that is being proposed here, where we take City Winnipeg property, make it available for housing.
Dozens have registered to speak at the hearing for and against the plan. Here at 546 Sherbourne, signs line this fence from community members who want this lot to stay green.
It's a park, and more than that, it's the backyard for the neighborhood.
They say there are other spaces in the neighborhood that could be used instead. Matt Salo says he'd even be in favor of setting up supportive housing in the parking lot behind the park.
We have tons of empty lots and empty buildings in the West End. They're begging to be redeveloped, and it just seems like this was the low-hanging fruit.
We're really excited that the city has taken this pretty bold step.
Housing advocates say community settings are the best places to help people get off the streets, where services, resources, and neighbors exist.
There are people experiencing homelessness everywhere in Winnipeg now. They're already your neighbors. They're either going to be outside in tents or they're going to be in a safe, supportive environment.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The public hearing is scheduled for Monday during a property committee meeting. The federal and provincial governments are spending $9 million to repair hundreds of Manitoba rental homes. It's part of the Build Canada Homes program, designed to increase the number of affordable homes across the country. Tuesday's announcement will help repair 738 affordable rental homes in Manitoba. The repairs will extend the life of existing housing units. According to 2022 Statistics Canada data, 169,000 Manitobans live in housing that's unaffordable, overcrowded, or in need of major repairs. And these people are at a higher risk of becoming homeless. End Homelessness Winnipeg welcomes the move. It says every night about 2,500 people experiencing homelessness are on Winnipeg streets, and adds despite this announcement, the need for housing continues to far exceed available units. School season is well underway, but Sylvan Learning Centre is closed, and some parents fear they're out thousands of dollars they prepaid for their kids' learning.
We've tried to send back emails and there's nothing. We have tried to make phone calls, and all of a sudden now the lines are no longer in service.
Les Thorne prepaid $3,000 for private tutoring for his children this fall. But in August this year, the center abruptly closed. One email sent to parents says the business was closed until August 5th. But that day has come and gone. A second location on Henderson Highway is also closed. CTV News reached out to the Sylvan parent company, but we have not heard back. Voicemails at the local locations were full.
If we can't find the company, you can't take action against them. So filing a complaint or filing a lawsuit or small claims court isn't going to be particularly successful if you can't find the individuals that you're trying to put action against.
According to news reports, just within the last month, some Sylvan Learning Centre locations closed in Minnesota, with complaints about lost payments appearing online. Voters in Newfoundland and Labrador have chosen change, electing the Progressive Conservatives to form a majority government.
We didn't quit. We kept believing in each other because we knew it wasn't over until that final buzzer and all the votes are counted.
The PCs, led by Premier-designate Tony Wakeham, took 21 seats. That's just enough for a majority in the 40-seat legislature. On a night that saw the lead go back and forth, the majority wasn't sealed until results from the last district came in. The PCs won by campaigning on issues like affordability, safety, and a promise to review the Churchill Falls hydro deal. The result ends a decade of Liberal governments in the province.
We kept our heads high, and I stand by our decision to run that positive campaign.
The Liberals came away with 15 seats, with leader John Hogan calling the loss a time for reflection. Jim Dinn and the NDP won 2 seats. A pair of other seats went to independents. Flu season is right around the corner, and health officials are urging Manitobans to roll up their sleeves.
It's very early in the season, and it's very important to get the vaccine now because it takes about 2 weeks for you to mount that immune response that you require to protect yourself.
Flu and COVID-19 vaccines are free and are available at doctors' offices, pharmacies, walk-ins, and community clinics throughout the city. The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority recommends everyone 6 months or older get the shot, especially those at high risk of infection, including seniors and people with chronic health conditions.
Every year we report that people are in hospital from seasonal influenza, from COVID-19, and they are experiencing severe illness. They are in hospital, they are away from their loved ones. There's that impact that we can't always quantify.
The WRHA, there we go, has a list of vaccine providers on its website. The next community clinic is happening today at 640 Main Street between 9 and 3:30 p.m. Week 7 of high school football began with a trio of JV matchups Tuesday night. Hosting Sturgeon Heights Collegiate won its match against Windsor Park. Collegiate 28-6. Brandon's Crocus Plains Secondary won 52-19 against John Taylor Collegiate, and Vincent Massey High School won 28-20 against River East Collegiate. Taking a look at the current traffic situation along Confusion Corner, a little bit foggy out there, just on our camera, of course. Traffic conditions still very light at this time of day. Volumes haven't started increasing, but of course, if you have any traffic tips, we'd love to hear them. Text them to us at 10400. Checking in for the first time this morning with CTV's Ainsley McPhail, who's spending the morning at Agape Table. Looks like folks are hard at work already doing the very important work that they do.
Catherine, I know. I always think it's just us, and then I go somewhere else, and I'm like, oh, you guys have been working here for a while. I said, is that bacon? They said, Ainsley, it's ham. But 800 to 1,000 meals a day, and these numbers are increasing year over year. Catherine, we're talking record-breaking numbers, and to meet that demand, they're actually moving buildings next door from this building that's about 4,500 square feet to just under 11,000 square feet, just because they're seeing new clients, the working poor, people who are coming to get these meals every day. So they're looking for donations from folks like yourself at home, and they're also looking for volunteers, not just individuals, but groups. So if you have a hockey team or a workplace that needs some team building, why not give back to Agape Table?
It's a wonderful organization. I'm looking forward to hearing all the work they do this morning. Thanks so much, Ainsley. Daniel Homerson's made his way up to the rooftop. How is it feeling so early this morning, Daniel?
Well, I wore a Cabana shirt, but the light jacket is needed right now. It is cool out here. The last time I filled in for Terry, it was a lot warmer out at this time. But 5 degrees here in Winnipeg right now, under cloudy skies. Can't really see them. It's still pitch black out here. Very light winds, which after that weekend of howling winds, it's really quite nice, and pressure's dropping. Humidity 92% right now. Now we are expected to get up to around 12 degrees today. Around the rest of the province, much of the same, similar temperatures from Portage out to Brandon. A little cooler up north right now, but shaping up to be a beautiful fall day. Those light winds remaining. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we should see some showers overnight heading into Thursday. So make the most of your Wednesday. Get out, grab a walk. It's shaping up again to be a beautiful day here in Winnipeg. We'll be back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Provincial politicians who retire, lose the election, or leave their seat don't walk away empty-handed. According to a Legislative Assembly report, last year's biggest severance check went to the former premier. When Heather Stephenson resigned in spring 2024 after 23 years in provincial politics, she received a $96,000 severance payment. Under provincial law, former politicians are given severance to help them transition out. The amount depends on their tenure. In total, during the 2024-25 fiscal year, more than $400,000 was paid to exiting MLAs. Of note, those payments total less than 1/3 of the $1.5 million issued the year before. More details can be found on our website at ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. A man in his 20s is charged after throwing a water bottle at a child. It happened last Wednesday afternoon. Police say some kids were playing near a park at Pacific and Ellen, and as they walked by an encampment, police say a man threw a water bottle at one of the kids. The man then chased a boy down the street, screaming at him. The kids ran to safety and told a parent, who called police. A 27-year-old suspect was found by police at the encampment. He is charged with assault with a weapon. The child wasn't injured. The fragile peace deal between Israel and Hamas is being severely tested. Donald Trump issued a new warning to Hamas Tuesday as families continue the anxious wait for the remains of hostages killed in captivity. There was also a price tag on the cost of rebuilding Gaza. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
The remains of 4 more hostages were returned to Israel. An emotional and painful homecoming that some families are still waiting for.
Right now, in 2 years of not moving on, for us it's one long day of struggle.
Rotem Cooper's father Amiram was 85 years old when he was kidnapped from Kibbutz Nir Oz on October 7th. He was killed in captivity. His body is still in Gaza. Families were aware that all 28 deceased hostages would not be returned yesterday, but they hoped they would be able to give more proper burials.
It's very clear that Hamas is playing games, that Hamas is not really cooperating, is not really in good faith.
Hamas has said it will take time to find all the bodies, as they don't know where they are all located. In response and to pressure, Hamas Israel says it will delay the reopening of the Rafah border crossing and reduce the amount of aid it allows in by half, according to the United Nations.
I think this will be a very long journey. We need to remain on course.
Bulldozers began clearing piles of rubble in Gaza City, an important step in allowing people to return. But with limited equipment and widespread destruction, it will take time.
We don't have enough equipment, enough loaders or bulldozers to carry out this work.
As Gaza begins the lengthy process of rebuilding, questions remain about the durability of this ceasefire and the future of the enclave, where Hamas has been trying to reassert itself in recent days. There have been reports of clashes with rival gangs in some areas, as well as this video, which reportedly shows Hamas fighters rounding up several men for a public execution.
The bottom line is this really a peace deal? Or is this only a hostage release deal plus a temporary ceasefire? It's still unclear, but I'm fearful that it's more the latter than the former.
The United Nations put a price tag on how much it will cost to rebuild the enclave. $70 billion, with at least $20 billion needed over the next 3 years.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is adamant in his opposition to dropping tariffs on electric vehicles made in China.
There's no damn way we should drop tariffs on China, I'll tell you that.
Over the weekend on CTV's Question Period, China's ambassador to Canada says that his country would drop its canola and pork tariffs if Ottawa removes its 100% tariffs on Chinese EVs. Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe and Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew have been lobbying Ottawa to take that deal. The federal government is in the process of reviewing its EV tariff. It costs to eat healthy. A study from Laval University has found many high sodium and high sugar foods in Canada are cheaper than healthier alternatives. The study analyzed more than 2,000 processed food products and found cheaper options were often unhealthy due to low-cost sugar and sodium ingredients. The study's lead author hopes the findings will encourage political action to reduce health inequalities caused by food prices. It was published in the journal Public Health Nutrition. Health Canada's high-in label will be required on all foods considered to be high in saturated fat, sugar, and sodium starting next year. It's part of an effort to encourage Canadians to make healthier choices and avoid ingredients which contribute to obesity, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. The European Space Agency has released images showing what they believe is a comet speeding past Mars. This comet was first spotted on Canada Day by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. It was within view of a spacecraft orbiting Mars and will also fly by Jupiter before exiting our solar system.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Some road closures to remind you about this morning. St. Matthews is closed between Empress and Strathcona. All westbound lanes are closed on Provencher from Archibald to La Flèche, and the northbound median lane on the St. James Bridge will close following the morning rush. Meanwhile, if you have any traffic tips or updates to share, you can text them to us at 10400.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Taking a look outside right now, 5 degrees here in Winnipeg under cloudy skies. Light winds out of the south-southeast. The pressure's dropping. The humidity sitting at 92%. Taking a look throughout the rest of the province, much the same around the capital region. A little cooler out to our west in Browndon and the surrounding areas. 0 up in Swan River right now. Taking a look up north, much of the same. 0 degrees in Flin Flon, Lynn Lake. Over in Churchill, again 0. They were at 2 last hour, so dipped down a little bit. And not much to show on the Skywatch satellite this morning. Fairly clear overnight. Now, For the kids heading to school, last time I filled in, it was summertime. So not used to this one. 6 degrees when they're heading there at 9 o'clock over lunch hour. About 9 degrees as well, and getting up to 11 when they're heading home for the day, right around our daytime high that we're expecting, around 12 degrees. Now taking a look over the next few days, much of the same 12-degree highs Thursday and Friday, though we are expected to see some rain come in overnight and last a couple days. Now over the weekend, partly cloudy skies, 11 degrees right around those seasonal averages, dipping down a little lower overnight. There is a slight chance of rain over the weekend, and much of the same heading into next week. Skywatch pick of the day. This one's from Abigail out in Grindstone Provincial Park. You can send your picks to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca, and we'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We are giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. Possibilities are endless. Today's code word is DREAM. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word DREAM with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. Humans around the globe are living 20 years longer than they were in 1950. In 2023, life expectancy was 76.3 years for women and 71.5 years for men. That's according to new research, which also found vast inequities remain. And there's an emergency crisis of rising death rates among adolescents and young adults. COVID-19 fell from the leading cause of death in 2021 to 20th place in 2023, with heart disease and stroke risk rising to become the leading causes of death globally. The analysis was published in The Lancet. Ontario is taking its anti-tariff message to a multi-million-dollar level. New tariff attack ads are set to play on American networks, using a former Republican president's words to appeal to that political base. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the details.
This is a new Ontario ad against tariffs that the government hopes will capture the eyes and ears of Americans.
Rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. Jobs and growth are at stake.
Using the voice of former Republican President Ronald Reagan to make the case. The Premier showed it off before a speech in front of the Empire Club in Toronto.
It's not a nasty ad. It's actually just very factual, and coming from a person like Ronald Reagan, every Republican is going to identify that voice.
The cost of the ad, $75 million, hitting stations like Fox, NBC, ABC, ESPN, CBS, and many local affiliate stations over the next 2 weeks, using words from that 1987 address from Reagan to emphasize the damage of tariffs and trade wars.
Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
We're going to repeat that message to every Republican district there is, right across the entire country.
Doug Ford's been trying to do some of that outreach on a one-to-one basis, hosting governors, including at least one Republican.
We're proud of the relationship between Utah and Ontario.
But these are leaders already aligned with Ford on tariffs. This ad spend is bigger than the last Made for the U.S. campaign Ontario launched just over a year ago. That one was about $50 million and doesn't look to have moved the needle. Still, the finance minister insists it is worthwhile to keep speaking out against tariffs in the U.S.
They don't help. They drive prices up. They hurt jobs. So I think we're going to not relent in telling our perspective to the American people.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Well, good morning. If you're joining us, 5 degrees outside in Winnipeg right now under cloudy skies. Light winds out of the south-southeast. The pressure's dropping and the humidity sitting at 92%. It's been a very, very uninteresting night in Manitoba. Not much to show you on the Skywatch satellite, and it's going to remain that way for most of the day. but as we head later on, we could see some showers. I'll get to that in just 1 second. But a high of 12 degrees today. That is around our seasonal average here in Winnipeg for this time of year. Winds out of the southeast at 10 kilometers, so about what you're feeling right now. Bits of sun and cloud. We could see a little more cloud move in as we get into the evening. Now overnight, dipping down to only 8, so well above those seasonal averages for nighttime. Wind still out of the southeast, picking up to 15. Chance of showers developing a little after midnight, and we should see the same heading into Thursday. High of 12 yet again, but those showers likely. Wind remaining out of the southeast as well. As we look over our 5-day forecast, much the same on Friday, high of 12 degrees. Chance of some rain. The sun should appear over the weekend. 11 degrees Saturday, Sunday, and into the next work week as well.
Thanks, Daniel. A warning to be vigilant when buying and selling items online. A Winnipeg man is recovering from life-altering injuries after he was robbed and shot during a meetup. CTV's Harrison Shin has the details.
Here in the 600 block of Maryland Street, a man in his 30s met up with a potential buyer for electronics he was selling online. But according to Winnipeg police, that deal ended him being shot and robbed.
This was just such a tragic, violent, unfortunate ending to this situation.
This photo, released by WPS, shows the suspect who is wanted in connection with the robbery and shooting. The seller is now in hospital.
He was transported to hospital in critical condition, sustained life-altering injuries, and has now been upgraded to stable condition.
The incident is sparking reminders to be vigilant when selling or buying online goods.
Online platforms have become such a big part of our daily life, just, to make a few extra dollars or sell some items, get rid of some clutter. I use them frequently. We've all done it. Let's just, sober second thought, be really aware.
Carmi Levy is a technology analyst, and he says a case like this is rare.
It does happen, but it doesn't happen very often. That's what makes this so shocking. A simple consumer transaction between two individuals should not result in this, and yet here we are.
Both Levy and police have the same message. Use one of the buy and sell exchange zones in Winnipeg police stations, or, barring that, go to big, well-lit public spaces. Do not go alone. Be sure to take a photo of the person and record their information so it can be shared. Levy adds it might even be a good idea to live stream.
The more light you shine on them, the more cameras that are present, the further those camera streams go or those feeds go, the more likely it is that they'll look for an easier mark.
Police say the suspect is considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Public hearings for a proposed rate hike from MPI are now underway, but one group says the plan is raising red flags. Manitoba's public insurer is asking the Public Utilities Board for a 2.07% general rate increase. It's also seeking a change to the minimum deductible, increasing it from $750 to $1,000. The Manitoba branch of the Consumers Association of Canada, along with the Manitoba Seniors Equity Action Coalition, have joined the hearings as an intervener. The groups say MPI's plan is raising some concerns.
Even though MPI is asking to increase rates for basic insurance by 2.07%, MPI also plans to collect over 9% more in revenues from its customers next year. We're also seeing trends that may lead to more expensive rates into the future, and if MPI does not effectively address these trends, MPI customers may be at risk of higher rate increases in the future.
The public hearings are set to continue for the rest of the month. Manitoba may be on the verge of a building blitz. The total value of all the building permits issued in our province shot up by nearly 38% in August on a month-over-month basis. Most of the new spending was earmarked for residential builds. This is according to new data released by Statistics Canada, which shows nationwide the value of building permits slid about a percentage point. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, says more support is coming for Ukraine at a meeting of NATO defense ministers meeting this morning.
We need our allies to step up, and they did, and they have in those commitments. Now those commitments will soon translate into capabilities.
Hegseth promised for firepower for Ukraine as part of a U.S. weapons sale agreement with its allies. Under the deal, European nations would buy arms from the U.S. to give to Ukraine. Pete Hegseth didn't say this morning if the agreement includes U.S. Tomahawk missiles. NATO's Secretary General says $2 billion have already been committed, with more pledges expected. Alberta teachers are trying to rally support in anticipation of their strike dragging on.
I have a lot of doubts that the province is going to come anything close to what we want.
The two sides sat down yesterday for the first time since the strike started. There is a new offer on the table from the teachers, but no one has shared any details in the proposal. Teachers have already voted down an offer which includes a 12% raise over 4 years. Alberta has opened an online portal for parents to claim subsidies. They can receive $30 for each missed school day for every child under 12. Teachers are planning to hold more rallies throughout this week. It's not a good idea to stick your hand in a lion's mouth, unless, of course, it is your job. Vets at the Big Cat Sanctuary in the UK removed an infected tooth from a lioness's mouth. She was, of course, sedated during the procedure, so there was no chance of any accidental biting. The lioness and her sister were saved from Ukraine. Vets say she's recovering well and has started to do a little flirting with the lion next door. Taking a look at the current traffic situation around Portage Avenue at Polo Park. Starting to build in terms of those traffic volumes. Roads look to be in decent shape, save for a pothole or two. Meanwhile, if you have any issues out there on the roadways, you can text us your traffic tips at 10400. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.31. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.24. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.22, and the lowest price in the city is $1.14. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Agape Table is always a flurry of activity at this time of morning. It might be early, but they are preparing to help so many in need. Ainsley McPhail is going to be learning about the good work they do. That's coming up at 6:42.
Weather is brought to you by MJ the Musical at Centennial Concert Hall, November 5th to 9th.
A cool yet calm start to Wednesday morning here in Winnipeg. It's still dark out, but 5 degrees. Cloudy skies, although can't see much out here right now. And those light winds are going to carry through most of the day. Now, we're going to likely see some rain tonight developing, and heading into Thursday and Friday, much the same. So take advantage of today. It's a high of 12 degrees here in Winnipeg. Those light winds kicking around, and much the same around the rest of the province right now. Looking out at Brandon, about 3 degrees. A little cooler up north, but daytime highs around our seasonal averages, between 6 and 10 degrees here in Manitoba today. But as we head into the night, we could see some clouds move in, and plenty of rain heading into your Thursday for this short work week. And we are joined now by our Ainsley McPhail, who is at Agape Table today. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Daniel. Thank you so much. Yeah, busy hands this morning and every morning here as they're serving hundreds daily. Dave Fenwick joins us now to tell us all about that. Increased need, it seems, year over year. Just how staggering are these numbers?
In 2019, we served 85,000 meals to our guests. Last year, we were already up to 173,000. This year, I'm projecting between 180 and 185,000 meals.
What does that look like in practice? Because we can only see behind us just a few people now, but when those doors are moving, it's quick.
Absolutely. So right now, because of our numbers being so staggering, we're still serving bag lunches at the door, but everybody gets soup, sandwich, pastry, fruit, vegetable, and a drink once they hit our door.
The facility, that means that there's going to be a bit of a change there. I shouldn't even say a bit of a change, quite a large change to meet that demand. Tell us about the move.
Coming up springtime, we're going to be in our new facility. We're moving from a little under 4,500 square feet up to 11,000 square feet. We're going to be able to have our guests back inside and get back to the community feel that we once had.
It takes a lot of people on the other side of things, too, to make this work, whether it's donors or volunteers. How many volunteers do you have, and what are some of their various duties?
Right now we're using between 30 to 50 volunteers each and every day just to make the magic happen. You could be doing prep work for our soup, we could be packing our bags, we could be working at the front door and handing the bags out to our guests. And not only working here, but the community. Like Edward Carrier Salon is doing a fundraiser for us where everybody is donating their time and all the proceeds come to Agape table. And it truly takes a village to make this place happen.
When you talk about volume and you talk about numbers, it's not just numbers, it's human beings. How does that weigh on you guys in the room?
Well, at the end of the day, you see our guests on the streets with their signs, but they're struggling to make ends meet. And the way we try to explain it to people is, if that was your sibling or that was your parent trying to make ends meet, would you treat them the same way? Our guests are coming to our door looking not only for a meal, but some positive interactions. So implore people to come down and be part of the magic.
Thank you so much. Okay, we've got more coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Looking at the early markets, the Dow Jones is up over 200 points overnight. The NASDAQ and S&P index also making early gains. The loonie is trading flat around 71.20 cents U.S. The Hang Seng added 469 points. The Nikkei index jumped 825 points. Welcome back. School may be in session, but Sylvan Learning Center is closed. The tutoring company has a long history in Winnipeg, but some parents fear they're out thousands of dollars they prepaid for their kids' learning. CTV's Joseph Bernacki reports.
This sign has been up at the Kenaston Sylvan Learning Center for months. There's a padlock on the door, and that is sparking concern amongst parents who are out of pocket.
What do we do next? I mean, there's thousands of dollars involved here, and we're not getting a reply or no email response. They just completely walked away.
Les Thorne has been bringing his children to this center for the last 2 years. He prepaid $3,000 for private tutoring for the fall. But in August this year, the center abruptly closed. One email sent to parents said the business was closed until August 5th, but that day came and went.
We've tried to send back emails and there's nothing. We have tried to make phone calls, and all of a sudden now the lines are no longer in service.
There is a second location on Henderson Highway which is also closed. CTV News reached out to the Sylvan parent company, but we have not heard back. Voicemails at the local companies were full. According to the Better Business Bureau, Thorne is not alone.
In August and early September, we were receiving a number of calls weekly about Sylvan Learning Center. At that time, we decided to look into what was going on. Our operations team did do an investigation.
Henry says both Sylvan locations appear to have been closed since the middle of August, but she doesn't know the exact date. She says there isn't much parents can do when a local company like Sylvan shuts down, even if it's part of a chain.
If we can't find the company, you can't take action against them. So filing a complaint or filing a lawsuit or small claims court isn't going to be particularly successful if you can't find the individuals that you're trying to put action against.
Thorne says his family is in a holding pattern to see if any money can be recovered because his kids still need tutoring.
Let's hope we get at least some sort of reimbursement, but let us know what's going on. We don't have no idea what's going on.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Businesses are being warned about a rise in so-called quick change scams. Police in Brandon released this footage of two people they say are responsible for a handful of the scams in that city. Typically, a customer will try to purchase an item with high denominational bills, and then while the clerk is making change, they'll start pulling out large bills and ask for different change. Brandon police say some of the losses have been in the thousands of dollars.
What you need to watch for is that scammers often use high denomination bills and they request change for smaller ones. They may ask for a series of change-related requests in quick succession to distract and confuse the teller. The goal is to make the employee lose track of the transaction and accidentally hand over extra money.
Police say if the transaction is becoming overwhelming, it's best to pause and call over a supervisor, and you should always count out change audibly. The two suspects from the surveillance video are likely traveling, meaning you should be on your toes even if you aren't in Brandon. An environmentally friendly way to get rid of your old electronics is coming to Winnipeg later this month. The Electronic Recycling Association is hosting a free electronics recycling event at the Charleswood Centre. It runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. October 24th at 3900 Grant Avenue. Accepted items include laptops, smartphones, TVs, keyboards, routers, and much more. The organization is trying to keep the waste out of landfill and, where possible, refurbish the items to be donated to charities and schools. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. St. Matthews is closed between Empress and Strathcona. All westbound lanes are closed on Provencher from Archibald to La Flèche, and the northbound median lane on the St. James Bridge will be closed following the morning rush. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, you can text them to us at 10400.
And taking a look outside right now, still 5 degrees here in Winnipeg under cloudy skies. Wind out of the south-southeast at 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping and the humidity sitting at 92%. It's been a relatively uneventful night here in Manitoba, but not going to complain about that or the temperatures we're going to see today. Up north, we're looking at 8 degrees in Churchill, 11 down in Island Lake, and 8 in Thompson. May see a little more sunshine there than we'll see in parts of the south. Now in the northwest, 11 degrees in Norway House, 7 in Flin Flon, 9 in the Pas. Again, mix of sun and cloud. To our west, out in Brandon, 11 degrees today, cloudy skies. That's when we're going to see the clouds shift in from the States up into Manitoba. 13 degrees, though, up in Dauphin today, 9 in Swan River. Here in Winnipeg and the rest of the capital region, I'll just get out of the way for 2 seconds here so we can see Pinawa and Sprague's highs of 13 there. Again, mix of sun and cloud. And as we move over to the border into northwest Ontario, 14 degrees in Fort Francis, 13 in Dryden, and 12 in Kenora. And as we take a look at your 7-day forecast, high of 12, as I mentioned here in Winnipeg today. Rain expected tomorrow and Friday. Again, 12 degrees. Those daytime temperatures are still going to kick up around our seasonal averages, but nighttime cooling off heading into the weekend. And to start the next work week, much of the same. High of 11 Monday and 9 Tuesday.
Thanks, Daniel. Canada Post has resumed mail delivery, but not for everyone and not all the time. The union representing postal workers has implemented rotating work stoppages during the ongoing strike. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth explains.
Postal worker Sam Metzler is back doing his daily rounds.
It's definitely a little awkward to be back without, a contract.
Metzler's strike pay was a fraction of his Canada Post earnings, and he's relieved to be making his regular wage again.
It is a little nice being back to work, that's for sure. And get some money in our bank accounts.
According to the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, the rotating strike is aimed at reducing disruptions and to provide postal employees with a financial boost.
Start moving the mail for the customers and also take some of the pressure off the members.
The strike began September 25th. It's the second work stoppage within a year. Canada Post says it's waiting to hear back from the union on its latest offer, and as employees return to work, customers should expect delays in processing and delivery. Artist Suzanne O'Callaghan ships 7,000 paintings a year and says even a short-term pause to the strike gives her business a chance to survive.
I am so happy. I just hugged all the people that work in there.
The union expects the rotating strike to eventually impact this province, but workers may only get several hours notice before their next work stoppage, which means they are taking a day-to-day approach as they return to work. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Halifax.
A thrilling show is dancing its way into Winnipeg next month, and we want you to go. MJ the Musical centers around the making of Michael Jackson's 1992 Dangerous World Tour. And we have a pair of tickets to give away for the Wednesday, November 5th show. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Good luck. Today marks Breast Cancer Reconstruction Awareness Day, or BRA Day in Canada. The procedure can be an important part of breast cancer recovery, but a significant number of women are never told it is an option. CTV's Pauline Chan has more.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Tracy Barkey had her second of 2 breast reconstruction surgeries just a couple of weeks ago. Her cancer journey began in 2018.
I turned 50 and I thought, okay, I'll go for my mammogram. And my whole world blew up after that.
But reconstruction had to wait.
My reconstruction didn't start for a couple of years because I had to do all the treatment first.
There's options for patients that have mastectomies, which is complete removal of the breast. There are options for patients that have lumpectomies, which are just part of the breast is removed but needs to be reconstructed. And then there's procedures for reconstruction that happens right at the same time as the cancer treatment, and then treatment that can happen years later.
Barkey, who works in healthcare, knew reconstruction was an option, but Tanya Prasad says it was never discussed with her.
I was diagnosed 5 days after my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer as well.
It was only through her mom and support groups that she learned about breast reconstruction. Dr. Ron Samoji says part of the reason it's not discussed is patients already have a heavy emotional burden dealing with their cancer battle. But also, many smaller centers just don't have the specialists required to do the reconstructions. Prasad chose implants.
I respect everybody's journey and what they choose, but ultimately I live with the outcome. And that was something that was really important to me.
Barkey, however, chose a more complex procedure called deep flap surgery, where abdominal fat is removed and used to reconstruct the breast.
The wait times are very long for this type of surgery. Not many surgeons can do it.
Both women are happy with their choices.
We try to let them know what the risks and benefits and complications are to the procedure, but really medical education is so important for the patient before meeting us for consultation.
Dr. Wakas Jalil says we need to spread awareness, not only that the procedure is available and covered by OHIP, but that information about your options is important to make the right personal decision.
Advocate for yourself, find your voice, because at the end of the day, you live with your own choices.
While Barkey's message for BRA Day is more succinct.
Get your mammograms.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Heading out to Main and Broadway, a bit of a lineup happening with traffic volumes. We're heading on to a break, but if you have any traffic tips to share, you can text them to 10400. It's Wednesday, October 15th. Today, mixed reviews. What Winnipeggers are saying about a proposed supportive housing strategy. Plus, a high price. What a new study found about the cost of healthy food in Canada. And a major boost. How the federal government is helping to improve Manitoba's French education. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Happy Wednesday, Manitoba. Thanks so much for joining us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. I'm Catherine Dow in the chair today for Rochelle Legacy. And we have Daniel Holmerson in the chair for Terry Gale on weather. Lots to come still on this show, including at 7:52. I didn't know myself that Winnipeg has a poet laureate. Did you know that?
I did.
You did know that.
I did
Daniel
know that.
is more in the know than me. What's really neat is that as part of her initiative, she is wanting Winnipeggers to help her write the story of the city. It's a citywide project. We're going to get details on what it's all about and maybe how you can help add a couple of words to Winnipeg's story. And then also Ainsley McPhail has been spending the morning at Agape Table. Incredible work they do, very much needed. We'll have those details just ahead all throughout the show. Meanwhile, Daniel, feeling brisk out there, if I may say so.
Yeah, it's cool right now. It was cool yesterday. It's supposed to be actually quite nice today, getting up to around 12 degrees. But right now, 5 degrees under cloudy skies. Wind out of the southeast at 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping and the humidity's sitting at 92%. Yeah, it's been that little breeze, but not too bad to start the day. But yeah, a little brisk when you're not used to being up this early. And as we move through the rest of the day, we're going to see a cloud coming into most of the southwest Manitoba. a little clearer up north, but as we move through the day, that's about 10 o'clock, we'll see just over the border in Saskatchewan in the States, a storm system moving into Manitoba, and it's going to roll right here through the capital region overnight into Thursday. So expecting to see some showers. Now by 2 o'clock, you'll notice it's kind of moving into northwest Ontario. Well, another one's coming right after it. Much of the same, more rain expected heading into Friday. But good news, as we move closer to the weekend, we should see a mix of sun and cloud. 11 degrees Saturday and Sunday. Now that's a little above seasonal average for this time of year, but dipping down to around 3 degrees overnight. 11 degrees on Monday as well. And I'll move just out of the way so we can see Tuesday, high of 9 under, again, mix of sun and cloud. Your weather art of the day, this one's from Goldie. She's 7 years old. Beautiful fall trees there. Keep those pics coming. Send them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Daniel. The city wants to make 5 properties available for housing to help address the chronic homelessness problem. Those in favor call the move exciting and bold, but there are many who say their neighborhood will have to make a big sacrifice. CTV's Jeff Keel explains.
A plan to house people at risk of being homeless on city land is getting mixed reviews, and this small patch of green space in the West End is at the center of the debate.
Don't want to lose the green space. No, it doesn't make sense.
I think it's a great plan. I think there needs to be more affordable housing.
A public hearing is scheduled to consider if the city should sell or lease 5 properties for $1 so social housing organizations could use the sites for supportive housing at 546 Sherbourne Street, 626 Stella Avenue, 2546 McPhillips Street, 1168 and 1172 Plessis Road, and 75 Poseidon Bay. The housing is intended for people moving from encampments and hospitals, youth leaving care, refugees, and those with mental health needs.
I wanted to do the very thing that is being proposed here, where we take City Winnipeg property, make it available for housing.
Dozens have registered to speak at the hearing for and against the plan. Here at 546 Sherbourne, signs line this fence from community members who want this lot to stay green.
It's a park, and more than that, it's the backyard for the neighborhood.
They say there are other spaces in the neighborhood that could be used instead. Matt Salo says he'd even be in favor of setting up supportive housing in the parking lot behind the park.
We have tons of empty lots and empty buildings in the West End. They're begging to be redeveloped, and it just seems like this was the low-hanging fruit.
We're really excited that the city has taken this pretty bold step.
Housing advocates say community settings are the best places to help people get off the streets, where services, resources, and neighbors exist.
There are people experiencing homelessness everywhere in Winnipeg now. They're already your neighbors. They're either going to be outside in tents or they're going to be in a safe, supportive environment.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The public hearing is scheduled for Monday during a property committee meeting. Provincial politicians who retire, lose the election, or leave their seat don't walk away empty-handed. According to a Legislative Assembly report, last year's biggest severance check went to the former premier. When Heather Stephenson resigned in spring 2024 after 23 years in provincial politics, she received a $96,000 severance payment. Under provincial law, former politicians are given severance to help them transition out. The amount depends on their tenure. In total, during the 2024-25 fiscal year, more than $400,000 was paid to exiting MLAs. Of note, those payments total less than 1/3 of the $1.5 million issued the year before. More details can be found at ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Stellantis announced it will be moving productions of its Jeep Compass to Illinois instead of Brampton. Production was previously paused at the Brampton plant in February as a result of the U.S. tariffs. The auto manufacturer confirmed it's investing more than $600 million to reopen its Belvidere assembly plant in Illinois. This is part of a larger $13 billion investment to expand operations in the U.S. In response to the announcement, Uniform says we need the federal government to use Canada's leverage now to fight for auto jobs. Stellantis cannot be allowed to renege on its commitment to Canadians. Stellantis says there are plans for Brampton that will be shared after further talks with the Canadian government. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Carney shared in a statement that his government will, quote, always be there for Canadian auto workers. Together with the Ontario government and Unifor, Prime Minister Carney said, quote, we expect Stellantis to fulfill the undertakings they have made to the workers of Brampton. The Prime Minister also adding this decision is a direct consequence of the current U.S. tariffs. It costs to eat healthy. A study from Laval University has found many high sodium and high sugar foods in Canada are cheaper than healthier alternatives. The study analyzed more than 2,000 processed food products and found cheaper options were often unhealthy due to low-cost sugar and sodium ingredients. The study's lead author hopes the findings will encourage political action to reduce health inequalities caused by food prices. It was published in the journal Public Health Nutrition. Health Canada's high-in label will be required on all foods considered to be high in saturated fat, sugar, and sodium starting next year. It's part of an effort to encourage Canadians to make healthier choices and avoid ingredients which contribute to obesity, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. French language education in Manitoba is getting a multi-million-dollar boost from Ottawa.
In Manitoba, French is the language of a community rich in talent, knowledge, skills, commitment, and an incredible joie de vivre.
On Tuesday morning, the federal government announced more than $72 million will go to French language education over the next 4 years. It's part of a new Canada-Manitoba agreement on minority language education and second language instruction. Its goal is to improve the quality of French education as both a minority language and second language in schools.
Whether it be preschool, high school, university, at every level, it is important that we continue to fund and to support French language instruction in this province. And so, because there is a growing demand for French education, be it in Francophone schools in La Division Scolaire Franco-Manitobaine or in our immersion programs throughout the province, there's exponential growth. So I think it's important that we support these organizations and these institutions properly.
Ottawa has a $1.4 billion plan to strengthen official language education across the country. U.S. President Donald Trump awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Charlie Kirk on what would have been his 32nd birthday.
Charlie, baby, I know that you're celebrating in heaven today, but gosh, I miss you. We miss you.
Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica, accepted the award for her husband at a ceremony at the Rose Garden. Kirk was shot and killed during a speaking engagement at Utah Valley University about a month ago. President Trump also declared yesterday as a national day of remembrance for Charlie Kirk. Taking a look at the current traffic situation along McPhillips Street. Getting busier as we enter into rush hour here. No major stalls or crashes to tell you about, but of course, if you're having any problems, you can send us your traffic tips at 10400.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
Checking in with CTV's Ainsley McPhail at Agape Table. Last we talked to you, Ainsley, you were smelling the sweet aromas of bacon. That's because the hard workers there are getting ready to feed so many Winnipeggers in need.
Yeah, and there's the volunteers here since we've been standing have more than doubled, Catherine. The lineup already starting. 7 o'clock is when they serve that first meal. It goes on for 4 hours. And the numbers that we had talked about are absolutely record-breaking. They've seen up to 1,088 clients in a single day of just in that time period of just 4 hours. They've been in this building for 7 years now. The building is 4,500 square feet. But they're moving next door to an even larger building, 11,000 square feet, to accommodate that need. And the goal is to roll that out by the spring. So coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, we are chatting about volunteerism. We are chatting about donations and how last year's Canada Post strike really impacted a lot of those monetary donations and more. You saw how hustling and bustling it is, but it's all for an incredible cause.
Definitely a labor of love. All right, thanks for that, Ainsley. Daniel Homerson is up on the rooftop. You got to bundle up a little bit more. more, Daniel. We've been so spoiled with those conditions, but it is definitely feeling more like October out there.
Yeah, we're going to see those seasonal averages for the rest of the week, Catherine, hovering around 10 to 12 degrees right through the weekend. Right now, though, 5 degrees out here in Winnipeg. It's dark, so can't see those clouds, but apparently they're up in the sky. And that light wind is actually quite nice compared to those gusts we saw over the weekend. But those seasonal temperatures are going to kick around for here and much of the province over the next few days, heading towards that weekend. Now, can't see the sun yet, and last time I was filling in, I remember seeing the sun around this time, so hopefully a little later in the 7 o'clock hour we'll start seeing a little bit of sunshine. We're going to see a mix of that and some cloud today, but clouds rolling in overnight, expecting to see some showers Thursday and Friday, but sun returning over the weekend under a mix of sun and cloud. And even the nighttime temperatures over the next few days are going to be pretty mild as well, so enjoy it while it lasts. And yeah, shaping up to be a beautiful Wednesday.
Thanks, Daniel. Time now for our question of the day. It is I Love Lucy Day, one of my favorites. So we want to know from you, this is fun, what is your favorite retro television show? Do you like The Munsters? Do you like Happy Days? I guess it depends on your definition of retro. Anyway, you can text us your answers along with your name to 10400, but make sure to follow the automated instructions so that we can feature your response. Fall into fashion with your Morning Winnipeg for your chance to win. To help warm up your wardrobe, we're giving away 3 $500 shopping sprees from Outlet Collection Winnipeg. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and submit your details. And make sure to join us on Fashion Fridays for the latest in fall fashion from Outlet Collection Winnipeg. Taking a check-in on traffic, Kenniston at Sterling Line crawling with activity as rush hour ramps up. If you have any issues or just traffic tips, you can always text them to 10400. A man in his 20s is charged after throwing a water bottle at a child. It happened last Wednesday afternoon. Police say some kids were playing near a park at Pacific and Ellen, and as they walked by an encampment, police say a man threw a water bottle at one of the kids. The man then chased a boy down the street, screaming at him. The kids ran to safety and told a parent, who called police. A 27-year-old suspect was found by police at the encampment. He was charged with assault with a weapon. The child wasn't injured. The federal and provincial governments are spending $9 million to repair hundreds of Manitoba rental homes. It's part of the Build Canada Homes program, designed to increase the number of affordable homes across the country. Tuesday's announcement will help repair 738 affordable rental homes in Manitoba. The repairs will extend the life of existing housing units. According to 2022 Statistics Canada data, 169,000 Manitobans live in housing that's unaffordable, overcrowded, or in need of major repairs. And these people are at a higher risk of becoming homeless. End Homelessness Winnipeg welcomes the move. It says every night about 2,500 people experiencing homelessness are on Winnipeg streets, and adds despite this announcement, the need for housing continues to far exceed available units. The World Health Organization is sounding the alarm over soaring numbers of drug-resistant bacterial infections. The United Nations Health Agency warns 1 in 6 laboratory-confirmed bacterial infections worldwide in 2023 showed resistance to antibiotic treatments. The WHO says this is concerning because it compromises the effectiveness of life-saving treatments and can make minor injuries and common infections potentially deadly. Bacteria have long developed resistance against medicines designed to fight them, rendering many drugs useless. This has been accelerated by the massive use of antibiotics to treat humans, animals, and food. Week 7 of high school football began with a trio of JV matchups Tuesday night. Host Sturgeon Heights Collegiate won its match against Windsor Park Collegiate 28-6. Brandon's Crocus Plains Secondary won 52-19 against John Taylor Collegiate, and Vincent Massey High School won 28-20 against River East Collegiate. Taking a look at the current traffic situation around Osborne Street, not terribly busy, a good artery to take if you're looking to get into work quickly. Meanwhile, if you're having any issues or just want to share a traffic tip, you can text them 10400. One of the world's most popular musicals is heading out on a global tour with a stop right here in Winnipeg. I am resisting the urge to sing along, but trust me, I could. Cameron McIntosh's production of Les Miserables will be returning to the Centennial Concert Hall from February 24th to March 1st. The acclaimed musical is set against the backdrop of 19th century France and tells the tale of justice, morality, and the search for redemption. Tickets go on sale Monday. Just head to BroadwayAcrossCanada.ca or the Centennial Concert Hall's website. Kylie Jenner has just made her musical debut using her King Kylie alter ego. Wow, she shared this song on her official YouTube page. It's called Fourth Strike and it's a collaboration with the duo Terror Jr. The song is being used to promote her new nostalgic Kylie Cosmetics makeup launch featuring her colorful It Girl King Kylie aesthetic from the mid-2010s. I survived those days. I bought many lip kits. Okay, and Aqua is taking their biggest hits to the stage.
You thought you knew us? Think again.
Aqua the Musical will open in Copenhagen in 2028. They say it will combine their chart-topping hits like Barbie Girl and Around the World with their personal stories woven in. The band members also say the musical will be a colorful illustration of the 90s. And beat the midweek blues with some great entertainment, starting at 7 with Shifting Gears. Next is a double shot of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, and catch up with The Amazing Race at 8:30. And at 10, it's The Floor. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Outside right now here in Winnipeg, 5 degrees under cloudy conditions, wind out of the south-southeast at 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping, the humidity's sitting at 93%. And I'm still trying to get over Aqua the Musical. Starting to feel a little bit old and nostalgic there. But looking around the province right now here in Winnipeg in the capital region, fairly similar temperatures, 4 to 6 degrees. Out to our west, a little cooler in Brandon, 3 degrees, much the same in Roblin. Cool morning up in Swan River, -1. As we take a look up in the northwest, 0 in Flin Flon and Lynn Lake, -1 in the Paw. Up in Churchill, -1 and 5 degrees already up in Island Lake, rather. And as we take a look at the school day coming up, 6 degrees or so when kids are heading into class. 9 over the lunch hour. Really nice day to play out in that playground when you're picking them up and they're heading home. About 11 degrees, all under partly cloudy skies. And we should see that into the evening, but overnight, that's when we should see that rain come in to southern Manitoba. High of 12, though, tomorrow. Much of the same Friday. Light rain as well. Now, over the weekend, we should see a mix of sun and cloud. Highs of 11 during the day, but it's starting to dip down a little bit more overnight. 11 on Monday, and just out of the way a little bit, 9 degrees on Tuesday. And our Skywatch pick of the day comes from Abigail. That's out in Grindstone Provincial Park around Hecla Island. Keep those photos coming. You can send them to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Daniel. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We are giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. Possibilities are endless. Today's code word is DREAM. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code there on your screen. Enter the code word DREAM with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. Good luck. Well, at Your Morning Winnipeg, we are all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see even more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. As the holiday shopping season kicks into gear, a new report by Deloitte Canada says holiday spending is expected to increase by about 3% this year, with Canadians expecting to spend an average of $1,500 on gifts. And more Canadians are turning to artificial intelligence to help them get it all done. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reports.
Amanda Kiley isn't shopping for the holidays just yet, but she's already getting a little help from ChatGPT.
I get it to help me because I have 4 kids, so it makes it easier to get ChatGPT to help me organize it. I do ask where to go.
Deloitte's new holiday retail outlook found half of those surveyed have used artificial intelligence in the past 3 months, up from 33% last year. And about 1 in 4 say they plan to use AI tools this holiday season. But whether it's online or in person, one thing hasn't changed. Most consumers are still chasing discounts.
AI is being leveraged to ensure that you get the most personalized experience from the brand and that they're resonating with you across all channels.
And while some are using AI to do custom searches, compare products, and get inspiration, the survey found only 17% of consumers fully trust AI and 70% worry about how much personal information it collects.
We'll be at the kitchen table, we'll talk about something we're looking at getting, and then all of a sudden, the next day, something pops up, so obviously it's a little bit spooky.
Others, like Ann Scott, who is picking up an online order, say she doesn't mind the occasional personalized discount as long as the technology doesn't go too far.
I'm not big on artificial intelligence because it drives me crazy that Big Brother is watching everything you might search.
Deloitte says on average, 1 in 4 shoppers now expect retailers to use AI, but earning the trust of consumers could be the biggest deal of all.
I think it's a very interesting concept, but I'm also a little bit concerned what they do with that data.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Ainsley McPhail is spending the morning at Agape Table, where volunteers are hard at work doing some incredible work. We'll have the details just ahead at 7:28. Don't go anywhere. We certainly get up early, Ainsley McPhail, but the hard workers at Agape Table may have us beat. They are all hard at work at this early hour to do such important things for Manitobans in need.
Well, Catherine, there's a few of us, but there's hundreds of them and new volunteers, no less. If you're watching at home, this is a live example of what some of them get to do. Volunteer coordinator Erin joins us now to tell us all about it. Erin, please paint us a picture of what the typical morning could look like at Agape Table.
Yeah, so as you see behind us, we have a bunch of dedicated volunteers that are ensuring that our guests have a nutritious meal to eat. We have volunteers, wrapping sandwiches, wrapping pastry, making lunches. We have volunteers chopping fruits for our soup, or vegetables for our soup, and just doing some meal prep to make sure that our operation runs smoothly.
How many new volunteers do you see?
Every single month for the last year and a bit, we've been seeing over 150 new volunteers join us at Agape Table, and that includes groups, right? So we always are open to corporate groups and having sports teams and student groups come and visit us at Agape Table, and we've been fortunate to have a couple practicums from both University of Winnipeg and University of Manitoba help us out here at Agape Table.
Well, that sounds like it's really great for team building, and there's other benefits as well. But something that's cool that I like about it personally is that they all get to do different roles and see something new.
Yeah, so when you come down to Agape Table to volunteer, it's really about community and emphasizing a team aspect to where you're able to meet other Winnipeggers and other Manitobans throughout the morning, and some people will work at the front door serving our guests our meals, and they'll cycle through to chop vegetables, chop meat, and we just want to make sure that whenever anybody comes down to Agape Table, they know that they're really contributing in a meaningful way.
Let's get people reaching out to you. How can they do it?
Absolutely. So you can email myself, Aaron, spelled Aaron, at agapetable.ca, or please call at 204-786-2370.
Words of encouragement, I guess, in our last 30 seconds.
You know what? Agape Table means unconditional love, and if anybody out there is looking for a way to give back to this community, this is an excellent way to do it. And the amount of love and just fellowship here at Agape Table is truly remarkable. And please reach out anytime.
Thank you so much. More love and fellowship at 7:42.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Ainsley. Daniel, I was just looking at flights to Copenhagen because I think we should be going to attend that Aqua musical. What do you think on that?
You
in?
I think I could do that. Yeah, we'll catch Les Mis here in the spring and then start planning our Aqua the musical trip.
Those are very similar musicals.
Absolutely.
Anyway, how's the day shaping up out there, Daniel?
Not too bad here in Winnipeg and much of the province right now, though. 5 degrees under cloudy skies, wind out of the south-southeast. The pressure's dropping, the humidity sitting at 93%. It's been an uneventful night here across Manitoba. Maybe a scattered shower here or there in northwest Ontario, but yeah, not much to show you on the Skywatch satellite today. But here in Winnipeg, high of 12 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud this afternoon. The wind remaining pretty light out of the southeast at 10 kilometers per hour. And as I mentioned, a mix of sun and cloud. But as we move into the evening, we're expecting to see a little more cloud move in. And with that, a chance of showers overnight. Wind picking up just a little bit, dipping down to 8 degrees. That is well above seasonal averages, around -1 for this time of year. And tomorrow, more of the same. The rain expected to kick around for most of Thursday, high of 12. Yeah, cloudy skies, but those light winds. As we take a look at our 5-day forecast, much of the same Friday, 12 degrees, chance of some showers. Over the weekend, 11 degrees both Saturday and Sunday, mix of sun and cloud. Much of the same as we head into the work week, 11 on Monday and 9 on Tuesday.
Thank you, Daniel. A warning to be vigilant when buying or selling items online. A Winnipeg man is recovering from life-altering injuries after being robbed and shot during a meetup.
This was just such a tragic, violent, unfortunate ending to this situation.
Police say it happened in the 600 block of Maryland Street. A man in his 30s had arranged to sell electronics online, but that meeting ended with him being shot and robbed. The Winnipeg Police Service has released a photo of the suspect, who's wanted in connection with the attack. The victim remains in hospital. Technology analyst Carmi Levi says cases like this are rare.
It does happen, but it doesn't happen very often. That's what makes this so shocking. A simple consumer transaction between two individuals should not result in this, and yet here we are.
Levi and police are reminding people to use buy and sell exchange zones at Winnipeg police stations or meet in big, well-lit public spaces. Never go alone. Take a photo of the person you're meeting and record their information. Levi even suggests live streaming the transaction. Police say the suspect is considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with information is asked to call Major Crimes or Crime Stoppers. Drivers take note. A detour is in place starting today along the Perimeter Highway for rail crossing repairs near Dugald Road. Manitoba Infrastructure and Transportation says the detour will be set up at the CN Railway tracks just north of Highway 101 and Highway 15 intersection. It begins at 6 p.m. tonight and runs through 6 p.m. Sunday while crews work on the rail crossing. One lane will stay open in each direction on the perimeter with crossovers between northbound and southbound lanes. The province warns drivers to expect delays and plan alternate routes if possible. Voters in Newfoundland and Labrador have chosen change, electing the Progressive Conservatives to form a majority government.
We didn't quit. We kept believing in each other because we knew it wasn't over until that final buzzer and all the votes are counted.
The PCs, led by Premier-designate Tony Wakeham, took 21 seats. That is just enough for a majority in the 40-seat legislature. On a night that saw the lead go back and forth, the majority wasn't sealed until results from the last district came in. The PCs won by campaigning on issues like affordability, safety, and a promise to review the Churchill Falls hydro deal. The result ends a decade of liberal governments in the province.
We kept our heads high, and I stand by our decision to run that positive campaign.
The Liberals came away with 15 seats, with leader John Hogan calling the loss a time for reflection. Jim Dinn and the NDP won 2 seats. A pair of other seats went to independents. The military has seized power in Madagascar. Streets in the country's capital are quiet this morning after weeks of youth-led protests. What started as protests against water and power shortages turned into a wider movement about unemployment, government corruption, and a high cost of living. Madagascar's president has left the country to an undisclosed location. Its new military leader is promising to hold elections within 2 years. Democratic institutions like the Electoral Commission have been suspended. Manitoba may be on the verge of a building blitz. The total value of all building permits issued in our province shot up by nearly 38% in August on a month-over-month basis. Most of the new spending was earmarked for residential builds. This is according to new data released by Statistics Canada, which shows nationwide the value of building permits slid about a percentage point. And some traffic tips to remind you about today. Some road closures. St. Matthews is closed between Empress and Strathcona. All westbound lanes are closed on Provencher from Archibald to La Flèche. And the northbound median lane on the St. James Bridge will be closed following the morning rush. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, you can text them to us at 10400. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.31. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.24. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.22, and the lowest price in the city is $1.14. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Outside, it's 5 degrees. It's looking a little cloudy to kick us off. CTV's Daniel Homerson will have a full update on weather just ahead.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A cool start to your morning here in Winnipeg. 5 degrees under cloudy skies. Wind out of the south-southeast at 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping. The humidity sitting at 93%. It's kind of nice to see a little more than just darkness out there. We are, of course, in the 7 o'clock hour now, and cool morning, but shaping up to be a beautiful day here in Winnipeg and throughout much of the province. Taking a look around up north, 8 degrees in Churchill, Gillam, and Thompson today. Mix of sun and cloud. A little more sun up there than we'll see down here in the south. To the northwest, 9-degree high in Lynn Lake today, 7 in Flin Flon, 9 in the Poswell, 11-degree high in Norway House. Out to our west in Brandon, 11 degrees today. Going to see a little more cloud. That's because a storm system is moving in from Saskatchewan and the state. So cloudy there, but high of 11, 13 up in Dauphin and 10 in Swan River. Here in Winnipeg and the rest of the capital region, I'll get right out of the way here. 12-degree high today under mix of sun and cloud. Much of the same throughout that entire region and just over the border in Ontario. About the same, 12 in Kenora, 13 in Dryden, under a mix of sun and cloud. And let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. Rain expected tomorrow, high of 12 degrees, much of the same Friday. Over the weekend, 11, partly sunny skies, dipping down a little cooler overnight. And then to start the next work week, much of the same, 11 degrees Monday and 9 on Tuesday.
We've been hanging out with Ainsley McPhail all morning at Agape Table. As we have heard, the need is so great, and I understand that this organization could be expanding in the near future.
Well, Catherine, it all started in a church basement, as so many things do, then moving on to this building here. And after 7 years, they need to increase their capacity. Its Executive Director, Jim Steep, joins us now to tell us all about these really massive changes.
Yeah, it's exciting times for Agape Table. It became apparent a number of years ago when our numbers kept going up and up and up that a church basement wasn't going to work for Agape Table anymore. So we set out on a search to find a new home for Agape Table. And fortunately, we just happened to get a place that's right next door. And so we purchased a property, and Boxstall Construction's been doing the work, and it's getting close. It's February 6th. They're right on time. They anticipate being done February 6th. And then a few more weeks of tweaking, and then we'll get the keys, and we'll have a new home for Agape Table that's open 7 days a week, and we can serve our guests on weekends now as well, which we've never been able to do. The building is totally accessible. Has a gold star rating from Rick Hansen Foundation. And so a lot of work's gone into that, and everything's bigger. We'll be able to handle more food and add additional programming and stuff like that. So very exciting times for us and our guests and our staff and volunteers.
When you look at the day-to-day, the 2 extra days, massive, but also the capacity to bring the guests in for a sit-down meal. I know that you guys do the bagged lunches, but what does a sit-down meal mean for fellowship and community?
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the unfortunate part of since the start of COVID, that we haven't been able to. After COVID was over, our numbers were just so high that it didn't work. And that's always been a big part of Agape Table's been around for 45 years, and for 40 years, that was a big part of it. The fellowship, the community, the safe, warm place for our guests. So they're really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. And volunteers, too. They might be elbowing each other this morning with how much food and how much prep for tomorrow. When it comes to the volunteers and the small staff you have, what does it mean to them?
This is going to be great. We've already brought some of our volunteers, our regular volunteers, in on what we're doing, and they've seen what it's going to look like. We'll be giving them a tour of the place shortly, and it's very exciting for them. And there's a volunteer room for them with lockers and stuff like that. So exciting for everybody.
Thank you so much, Jim. Poverty does not take a day off, unfortunately. Coming up at 8:06, we'll tell you how you can help at home.
Thanks so much, Ainsley. There we go. China's economic quid pro quo to drop punishing tariffs on Canadian pork and canola if Canada scraps tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles is dividing Canada's premiers. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more on the internal tensions as China says overseas exports of its EVs have doubled from a year ago.
Chinese EV brands like Warren Buffett-backed BYD are revving up their presence in Asia and Europe. But steep tariffs have the vehicles locked out of North American markets.
There's no damn way we should drop tariffs on China, I'll tell you that. Absolutely not.
But that's not how all the premiers feel. The premiers of Manitoba and Saskatchewan want Ottawa to scrap its 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles, now that China is pledging to lift its punishing tariffs on Canadian pork and canola in exchange.
If the EV tariffs are removed, then China will also remove the tariffs on the relevant products of Canada.
And that would go a long way to help ease the stress felt by producers like canola farmer Cody Nagy.
We don't know what the price is going to be a month from now or 6 months from now. So going into planning for next year, how do we know how many acres of canola to plant for?
But while farmers are feeling the financial hit now, experts in the Canadian auto sector fear a bleaker future if cheaper Chinese-made cars start flowing in.
We cannot allow it to happen. These are subsidized vehicles, and they would attempt to take market share from Canadian North American manufacturers without agreeing to trade on a level playing field.
The federal government has said it's reviewing the EV tariffs, a move that will likely come up later this week when the Foreign Affairs Minister meets with her counterpart in China.
All right. right, let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 10th birthday, Emma Marie. Love your mom, siblings, Cuckoo, and the rest of the family. Happy 36th birthday, Kyle, with love from your partner. Happy birthday, Andrea. Love your sons and family. Happy 8th birthday to Jack. Love from your whole family. Happy 18th birthday, McKenna, with love from Mom, Dad, Kylie, and Morgan. Happy 38th birthday, Matthew. Love from all your family. Happy 24th birthday to Bennett. Love always Mom, Dad, Serena, Basil, and Egbert. Happy 9th birthday, Everly. Lots of love from Mom, Dad, Taylor, Sydney, Ozzy, and Granny. And happy 65th wedding anniversary, Roger and Jean. Love from your family and friends. To submit your milestone, you can visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Seasonal averages around 10 for this time of year, low around -1. Last year we were right around that seasonal average, but well below the record back in 1953 of 25.6 degrees, but 2002 -10. And you may have seen the sunrise there. It is, well, it's cloudy, but at least it's a little brighter out here. One of my favorite parts about filling in on the morning show is when you're out here and you actually get to see the beautiful Winnipeg skyline. 5 degrees right now, a very light but cool wind out of the southeast, and that breeze is going to last throughout the day. We are expecting a high of around 12 degrees, which, as you saw, was around seasonal averages, much the same around the most of Manitoba today. Now, the clouds are going to continue to roll in as we move into the evening, and there is that chance of rain overnight and more on Thursday. But for now, enjoy it while it lasts, because it is a beautiful Wednesday here in Winnipeg. And yeah, grab a coffee and enjoy the rest of your morning.
A Winnipeg writer wants you to help write the story of our city. Jennifer Still is Winnipeg's 2025-26 Poet Laureate, and she has launched a citywide poetry project to immortalize Winnipeg in words, pen, pencil, and paper. Joining me now to share more is Jennifer Still herself. Hello, Jennifer. Thanks for being with us.
Hello, good morning.
This is a cool idea, and I'm also fascinated by the job of Poet Laureate. What does it entail exactly?
Wow, I've been learning that myself. Essentially, it's to write poems, to continue the work I already do, but also to engage Winnipeggers in poetry however I can, and to create community in the literary realm and outside of that. So this is really what the story of Winnipeg was about for me, how to reach out to the whole city and invite them to say something.
Well, that's what's really cool, this project, the story of Winnipeg. What's it all about, and how are you getting people involved in it?
Yeah, well, basically, it's an invitation to Winnipeggers to write a poem, but it's kind of sneaky because it's really just a fill-in-the-blank tiny book that I've created. It's a guided poem. You fill in the blanks. The prompts were developed from a really old text called Winnipeg Gateway to the West, and it has a bunch of writing about Winnipeg in 1911 and how much we valued, of course, the infrastructure and roads and commerce and railway lines and all of the ways Winnipeg was being built at that time. And I took that text and I thought, what do we value now? You know, now that is built and actually a lot of it is not working anymore.
No.
What do we value, and what do Winnipeggers want to say about our city?
So how do people fill out one of these booklets? It looks beautiful for starters.
So first of all, it is a single page.
Oh, neat.
Would you believe it? It's one tiny page with an opening in the center.
Oh, neat.
Which is, to me, there's a map of the city on the outside. It's an old streetcar map, and that opening in the center is almost like Portage and Main, you know, like we just opened it up. But when you open the center of a single page, you can fold it into 6 pages that turn.
Beautiful.
So there's kind of a metaphor happening with that. Anyway, people can find all of these books at the Winnipeg Public Library.
Neat.
And You can fill them out, you can be anonymous, you can say who you are if you like, and you can deliver the poems, and I've created a mailbox. You can deliver the poems back to me at the library, and I'm going to read everything, and I'm going to listen to what Winnipeggers are saying about our city, how much the wind affects them, how much potholes affect them, whatever it is, and I'm going to create a big collaborative work to share with our city.
And so will that be for everyone to see and enjoy and take in as well?
That's the plan, yes.
Yeah, cool. And so if you've never written a poem before, I'm guessing this is kind of tailor-made to be entry level, right?
It is.
You don't need to be a poet laureate to do it.
You do need to notice things around you, and I think we all do that, and that's a way we engage with our city. And if you notice something, if you care about something, or something's concerning you, you can do this.
Do you want to read us a sample? You've brought a couple.
I would love to.
A couple of them did have some 4-letter words.
Yeah, I've chosen.
And they're okay for the submission, just not for television,
Yeah,
right?
you can say whatever you want. People have also collaged and done watercolors. They've broken open my prompts and made them their own. So that's what you do. You do what you want. So the story of Winnipeg by Sarah. Winnipeg is the central point of our efforts. The city contains channels. The most marvelous roots radiate from it. The streets of the city are generally slush. All roads amount to resolution. It is surrounded by sky. It is controlled by loss. Winnipeg is now in a position to remember. Take this record, miles of grass, miles of vein, miles of river, and add to it. The whole heart is open.
Snaps, right? That's what we get poetry slams. This is so neat. I love this initiative. So if folks are loving it and they want to put pen to paper, how can they contribute to this?
Yes, please. Every Winnipeg Public Library branch will have the opportunity for you. You can also contact me on Winnipeg Poet Laureate at gmail.com or the Winnipeg Arts Council website, and I can direct you, encourage you, get a copy to you.
Wonderful. Well, Jennifer, such a cool project. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing the details.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Hello there, Kara Waglin in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we take you to Italy, where they were taking on Israel in World Cup qualifying. Israel working the ball out when Matteo Retegui steals it, dribbles in, bends one right into the side netting. An all-around great play from Italy's number 9, creating the chance and then finishing it off. His second goal of the match, but that one would be your must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, we got a little Raptors preseason basketball as they take on the Boston Celtics. Coverage for that one gets underway at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. That's all from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Wednesday, October 15th. The city's housing push, mixed reactions to a plan that could turn city-owned land into homes for those most in need. Plus, hostage remains returns. After months of conflict, could this signal a shift in the Israel-Hamas war? And flu season is here. White health officials say now is the time to roll up your sleeves. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. On your Wednesday. Thanks for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. I'm Catherine Dow in the chair today for Rochelle Lagasse. Daniel Halmerson in today for Terry Gale. We have still a jam-packed final hour of our show to bring you, including later on this hour, we're going to be learning about a really cool pilot project underway at the Buehler Gallery. This is a little art gallery, not so little, that they have housed in St. Boniface Hospital that really hopes to promote art as a way of healing. But now they are looking at a new initiative that brings art even closer to patients right into their rooms. We're going to have details coming up this hour. But first, Daniel, it's been so crisp and lovely outside. How's the rest of the day going to unfold?
Much the same. It's actually going to be a very beautiful day here in Winnipeg. Got up a little early there, but 5 degrees right now under cloudy skies. The wind out of the south-southeast. The pressure's dropping. The humidity's sitting at 93%. But yeah, beautiful fall day ahead. We got a little bit of those gusty winds over the weekend, but light winds expected today and into Thursday as well. But taking a look at the Futurecast satellite, you can see some cloud coverage throughout the south right now. And as we move through the day, it's going to pretty much cover all of western Manitoba. The north spared a little bit, and it's going to continue moving into the capital region. That's when late tonight we should see some rain start developing in the west and moving through into south central Manitoba, including here in Winnipeg and the surrounding area. And that's going to continue into Thursday. Plenty of cloud coverage, and just when we think it's over, there's even more rain expected here in Manitoba as we get closer to the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, we're looking at highs of 11 Saturday and Sunday, and under a mix of sun and cloud. At night, a little cooler than what we're seeing tonight and tomorrow night. And as we head into the next work week, 11 on Monday and 9 degrees on Tuesday. And our weather art of the day is from 7-year-old Goldie of some beautiful golden and orange fall trees. You can send all those, your kids' weather art to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Daniel. The city wants to make 5 properties available for housing to help address the chronic homelessness problem. However, a plan to house people at risk of being homeless in the West End is getting mixed reviews.
Don't want to lose the green space. No, it doesn't make sense.
I think it's a great plan. I think there needs to be more affordable housing.
The housing is intended for people moving from encampments and hospitals, youth leaving care, refugees, and those with mental health needs. A public hearing is scheduled to consider if the city should sell or lease 5 properties for $1, so social housing organizations could use the sites for supportive housing at 546 Sherbourne Street, 626 Stella Avenue, 2546 McPhillip Street, 1168 and 1172 Plessis Road, and 75 Poseidon Bay.
There are people experiencing homelessness everywhere in Winnipeg now. They're already your neighbors. They're either going to be outside in tents or they're going to be in a safe, supportive environment.
Dozens have registered to speak at the hearing for and against the plan. The public hearing is scheduled for Monday at the Property Committee. Hamas has returned the remains of 3 more hostages to Israel. A convoy carrying the bodies arrived in Tel Aviv this morning. According to the Red Cross, the remains of 45 dead Palestinian prisoners were returned to Gaza yesterday. The 3 hostages returned have been identified as Tamir Nimrodi, Uriel Baruch, and Eitan Levy. A 4th body was also transferred to Israel, but officials say it does not match any of the hostages. Israel now plans to open the Rafah crossing this morning to increase the amount of aid flowing into Gaza. Flu season is right around the corner, and health officials are urging Manitobans to roll up their sleeves.
It's very early in the season, and it's very important to get the vaccine now because it takes about 2 weeks for you to mount that immune response that you require to protect yourself.
Flu and COVID-19 vaccines are free and available at doctors' offices, pharmacies, walk-ins, and community clinics throughout the city. The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority recommends everyone 6 months or older get the shot, especially those at higher risk of infection, including seniors and people with chronic health conditions.
Every year we report that people are in hospital from seasonal influenza, from COVID-19, and they are experiencing severe illness. They are in hospital, they're away from their loved ones. There's that impact that we can't always quantify.
The WRHA has a list of vaccine providers on its website. The next community clinic is happening today at 640 Main Street between 9 and 3:30. Canada's second and final match of this international window ended in a hard-fought 0-0 draw.
Caught on it by Oluwaseyi. Canada have the numbers. Buchanan going for the strike, and Montero saw it late, but did just enough to parry.
Kazon Buchanan almost scoring what would have been an absolute screamer against Colombia last night. Along with Friday's 1-0 loss to Australia, this result means Canada went scoreless on the international break. But head coach Jesse Marsh says he still saw positives. Canada's men return to action next month with friendlies versus Ecuador and Venezuela. Taking a look at the current traffic situation on the St. James Bridge, crawling with activity. Traffic, though, moving on a good clip. Nothing there to slow you down. Meanwhile, if you have any traffic tips to share, we'd love to see them. Text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
We have watched throughout the morning, Ainsley, as activity really ramps up at Agape Table. It is a busy place to be most mornings. What's going on there right now?
Hundreds of folks coming through their doors daily and, well, 7 days a week with the new building. Jim Steep joins us now. It's Executive Director. When it comes to donations, last year's Canada Post strike caused some barriers. Just how much of a challenge and did it cause for your organization?
Yeah, it has been a big challenge for Agape Table, actually, since last December. That we've been around for 45 years, and a lot of our donors, like the heart and soul of Agape Table, are donors that write checks for $20 or $50 or $100 or whatever, and we also can't reach them with our usual newsletters and stuff like that. They don't have computers, they don't have email, that sort of thing. So there's still lots of other ways to donate, but yeah, that's been tough to communicate with a lot of our donors.
For those donors watching right now, say they do have a computer or know somebody who does, how can they do it? I know it sounds simple, but for the folks who aren't doing it yet.
Yeah, just go to agapetable.ca. You can use a credit card. You can also e-transfer treasurer at agapetable.ca. And yeah, so there's lots of ways, but the easiest is on our website.
Okay. And when it comes to these individuals, gratitude comes to mind as well for allowing you guys to do this for over 4 decades.
Yeah, it's really amazing, and really want to thank all our donors. But we've gone 45 years without, for our operations, no help from any level of government or United Way or anything like that. So it's just the good hearts of people in Winnipeg and Manitoba that have kept us going for that long. It's amazing.
It really is amazing. Anything else you want people to know? What's next besides the big launch? It's huge.
Yeah, exactly. Well, coming into our busiest time of year with Christmas and whatnot, and then right after that it'll be moving into the new building and all that. So yeah, very exciting. I also want to thank you guys for doing this. CTV Morning Live's a big supporter of Agape Table. Thank you and Ken.
Enough about us. Enough about us. Oh, please. More at 8:30.
I like how you cut off Kenny's nod there. Enough. Kenny doesn't need anything. Just kidding. All right, thanks for that, you two. Instagram is making major changes to what teens can see online. Meta says it is limiting access to PG-13 content and requiring parental permissions to change settings. CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports.
Tori Beaumont knows how easy it is to get drawn into Instagram.
There's a lot of content on Instagram that's unregulated.
For her, the constant stream of videos and photos can sometimes be too much.
I've seen a lot of really gory stuff on there, some very explicit things on there. It's very good that I feel like they're cracking down on that sort of censorship.
Now, Meta says it's limiting teen accounts to PG-13 content by default and requiring parents to approve any changes. The new system is designed to be easy for parents to understand.
We're doing this to really speak the language of parents who are much more familiar with movie ratings in terms of kind of a familiar model for those who are using Instagram.
It's stuff like this, just any type of killing, anything.
But 17-year-old Bahir Zai says he still has access to mature content.
It does give you a warning saying it does have violence or something, and you could either click CY or you can click just to see the post.
Most kids are just scrolling through reels and stuff like that. I feel like it's a good feature to stop kids from seeing things they're not meant to see yet.
Some parents are already taking steps to filter what their kids see.
When I made the accounts for my kids, I put their ages in and I made sure that everything was tied into what they were doing, and I went to my account to filter it all out.
One technology expert says the new measures may not catch every case.
They will start using artificial intelligence to determine if a child is being truthful or is lying about their age. But again, that technology, not 100% perfect. There's still a lot of kids slipping through the cracks.
I have a little reservation about AI being used to try and determine the age of my kids, because it could actually, people who are old enough get scanned young, and it could cause all sorts of problems.
And even teens like Tori Beaumont say the system won't be perfect.
I think it's good that they're trying to put age verification things in place, but I don't think that it's going to work, because let's be real, anyone can lie about their age online.
Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Cloudy outside in Winnipeg right now, but 6 degrees. Wind shifted. Now it's out of the north at 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping. The humidity's sitting at 93%. As we look around the province, around the rest of the capital region, similar temperatures right now, hovering between 4 and 6 degrees. To our west, out in Brandon and the surrounding area, a little bit cooler, 3 degrees in Brandon, 0 up in Dauphin and Swan River. And as we head even further north into the northwest, -1 right now in the Paw, 0 in Flin Flon and Lynn Lake. And in the north, -1 up in Churchill, -3 in Thompson, already 5 degrees up in Island Lake. And let's send the kids to school now. At 9 o'clock, we're expecting temperatures around 6 degrees, mix of sun and cloud, and that's going to last throughout most of the day. 9 degrees as they hit the lunch hour, and 11 when you're picking them up and they're heading home. And as we look at our 7-day forecast here in Winnipeg, 12 today, 12 tomorrow, but rain expected to come in overnight, and more of the same Friday. Stick around. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. A dream vacation, home renovations, paying off bills. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is DREAM. Head to the contest page on ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word DREAM with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Winnipeg's $20,000 giveaway. And tune in tomorrow for another code word. Good luck. Integrity has been restored to the world of conking, a children's game played using chestnut seeds. Do not know what this is. Competitors had to pass through metal detectors at this year's World Conker Championships in the UK. Last year's championship was mired in controversy over accusations the champion used a metal conker. There were also worries this year about a shortage of conkers, but the competition was saved after donations came in from across the UK, including one from Windsor Castle. If you're looking for a little unhinged fun this weekend, well, we have the event for you. From stand-up comedy to live music to wrestling, the Manitoba Unhinged Fun Festival is sure to deliver a ton of great entertainment at one fun-filled event. Joining me now to share more about this new event, we have Todd and Walter. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you.
So this is the first time you're ever doing it. The title kind of says it all, Unhinged Fun. Tell me what it's all about.
Yeah, you know, a sort of combination of really neat things coming together. Myself, just because I happen to, you know, I've been in around the local music scene before. I spent like my entire 20s in bands, and I just happen to know enough people involved in different forms of entertainment and local independent business that when I started to, you know, back, I'd say earlier this year, hear a lot of outcry about, like, you know, buy Canadian, buy local, support local. I kind of felt like, you know, me and a group of friends have been talking about the importance of that for a long time. So I wanted to see if I could kind of, you know, pool all my resources together and bring an event together, put together an event that encompassed as much different, interesting, local, independent entertainment business ideas as possible. So yeah, we have a great list of stand-up comedians, all local. We have a great list of local live music as well too. We're going to have food trucks there. There's going to be a craft market / farmers market, so some great local independent venues selling incredible independent local anything. There's going to be so many different varieties there. Lots of stuff for the children. There's going to be face painting. Hopefully we get some balloon animals going as well too. There's going to be live karaoke happening as well. Captain Jack Sparrow is going to be there. It's close to Halloween, so of course we encourage children and anybody to wear your Halloween costumes. And then for live local entertainment, and this all starts at 10 a.m. It's going all day. The day's kind of split up into two. The first half of the day from 10 a.m. till roughly about maybe 3 or 4 will be sort of the market and the family fun sort of stuff. And then as we get into the late afternoon, early evening, we will open up the main stage, and we got an incredible list, incredible lineup of live music for everybody, spanning every genre. We have Rick Main, who's kind of like a dancey pop kind of feel. That's going to get everything going. We have local hip-hop artist BS Raps. We have one of the best local singer-songwriters here in town, Stacey James, performing as well too. And then to end it all off, I think Winnipeg's premier rock band, the Northern Royals, will be closing everything up. There will be a beer gardens on site as well too. And then afterwards, we will all wrap everything up and head across the street to the King's Head for a little after party.
Oh, you didn't mention the wrestling, Walter. Is that what you're most excited about?
No,
I am.
I am not a wrestler.
No, but are you excited to watch?
Well, I am excited to watch, but the big thing is this is our first year, and what we want to do next year, we want to make it even better.
Yeah.
And our goal is next year to have a barbecue competition and go back to the old style with charcoal, because Wild West Charcoal is going to supply all the charcoal to do a barbecue the old-fashioned way, and bring it out to bring families together and get families out and excited to do more. And our goal is to grow this to a bigger and bigger every year.
So folks want to get in on the ground floor. Real quickly, we just have a few seconds left. Remind us when this is going on and how folks can attend.
This Saturday starts at 10 a.m. at the Cube, right here in the Exchange, or in the heart of the Exchange, the Cube. So it starts at 10 a.m. You can still get tickets online. We do have a Facebook event page, and there is an Eventbrite as well, too. Plus, if you see that poster anywhere that you see up on screen right now, you can click the QR code there and go straight to the Eventbrite and buy tickets online, or just show up right there in person and, and pay. Everything, all the family stuff, all the market at the beginning of the day is free to get in, but it's $10 to get into the main stage event with the live entertainment.
Perfect. I'm going to start working on my barbecue for next year.
Fantastic, and I hope to see you there and next year in the barbecue competition.
Wonderful. We got to go, gents, but thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, speaking of barbecuing, it's shaping up to be a beautiful day to do so. I don't know how many great barbecue days we have left, but that's it on my bucket list for later today. Right now, though, 6 degrees out here in Winnipeg, under cloudy skies, light winds out of the north now at 3. High of 12 today. The light wind should kick around. Now, we should see some showers develop overnight into Thursday, but in terms of a Wednesday, this is basically the best you can get for hump day here in Winnipeg. Those clouds will give way to a little bit of sunshine this afternoon. Much of the province is going to see the same, maybe a little sunnier up north than down here in the south. And as I mentioned, with that rain, clouds are going to come in as we move closer to Thursday. But good news, folks, over the weekend we should see a little bit more sunshine, and those seasonal averages around 11 kick around for at least a few more days. But here's your Skywatch pick of the day. This one's from Abigail out at Grindstown Provincial Park. Keep those picks coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It said art can be healing. It's part of the philosophy of the Buehler Gallery located in St. Boniface Hospital, where so much healing happens. And a new project underway aims to bring works of art right to a patient's bedside. Joining me now to share more, we have Hannah G., the gallery's curator. Hannah, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So folks who visit the hospital, it can be very stressful circumstances. They might not know there is a gallery there. Tell me what the space is like.
We're so fortunate. So the Gallery Buehler Gallery was founded due to a very generous donation from John and Bonnie Buehler almost 20 years ago now. And it's part of the vision of the hospital that really seems to get how art can tangibly contribute to healing and to well-being of patients, but also staff and the visitors as well.
And during that long tenure, that long career, you've amassed quite a collection, if you will, at the gallery. And this is part of a new pilot project that sounds really interesting. And tell me a little bit about how it works exactly to almost bring down barriers to art.
Well, I must say that I stand on the shoulders of giants. So Pat Bovey, the Right Honourable Pat Bovey, she was the first curator there, and she spearheaded donations and acquisitions to create a permanent collection, and that work was carried on by Leona Herzog, who was my predecessor. So we have a wonderful collection, all through donation pretty much. And I'm always trying to find ways, how can I get more people to see the art? Like, I love sharing things. And so, you know, I roam around the hospital. I'm a bit of a free agent, and I'm kind of looking for ways to intervene. And I thought about, just being a patient in a bed, and you might be in that bed for 2 weeks, 2 months, and not really having very much autonomy, not really maybe having anything very nice to look at. And so I thought, maybe I can create a menu where people can choose some artworks that are especially co-curated by me and Julia Jennings, who was my intern at the time, of artworks that perhaps people might want to have close by to them. So we created a menu, the patient art menu. It's very much in its pilot phase, so it's very much at the beginning. It's not rolled out across the whole of the hospital. But the idea is to see if it works. So a patient will get this menu, they'll have a look, see, maybe I'd like that one. And then I'll come up with one of the people from carpentry, and we'll position it where they want to have it, so they have that decision making, that choice, and they can have their artwork next to them and for the duration of their stay.
We know hospital rooms can be depressing sometimes, and bringing artwork in can probably do a lot more than just make the space a lot beautiful. It can help with folks' mental health, their healing. Is that kind of the hope here?
I think, like one of the most important things about an artwork is distraction and being able to be taken somewhere else. And so if you're in a bed that maybe isn't near a window, and a hospital room can be quite chaotic as well. So if you have this artwork which you have chosen, which you are looking at, and you can develop a relationship with that artwork, it's just a way for you to have a window into an experience that is perhaps a little bit detached from the experience that you're having.
So you mentioned this is just in the pilot phase, certainly not rolled out. Is there a sense of what next steps could be, or are you still kind of feeling it out?
Well, with the attention that we've been getting, it seems to have really resonate with people.
Great.
And so I'm really hopeful that it can roll out a bit more widely. But you know, I mean, there's lots of things that we do at the hospital, lots of things that we do at the gallery, and so it has to be within those confines. But I would love to see more patients have access to this program, and I think a lot of the people in the hospital would too.
We're just very nearly out of time. Really quickly, can you just tell me about the ongoing show at the gallery
as well?
Absolutely,
Thank you. Yeah, it's called Tending the Wild. It's got nearly 30 people and institutions taking part, and it's a relationship between gardens and art making. What's allowed in a garden, what isn't allowed in a garden, and the same for an exhibition. It's an extraordinary show. We've got the Manitoba Museum, we've got contemporary artists in Winnipeg, and it's up until the 14th of November.
Sounds beautiful. Hannah G, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Taking a look outside right now, 6 degrees here in Winnipeg under cloudy skies, though looks like the sun may be trying to poke through. Wind out of the north and the pressure is dropping. Humidity is sitting at 93%. And, well, that camera's not working, but not much to show on the Skywatch satellite tonight. There we are. Or not tonight, this morning, rather. It's been a bit of a day so far, but 12-degree high here in Winnipeg today. Wind out of the southeast at 10 kilometers per hour. It's nice and light, a mix of sun and cloud this afternoon, but we are expecting some clouds and some rain to roll in from the southwest as we move through the evening overnight, dipping down to 8, which is well above seasonal averages for this time of year, and as I mentioned, a chance of some showers. Tomorrow, much of the same. The rain expected throughout Thursday, even into Friday, a high of 12 yet again, wind out of the southeast. And as we look at our 5-day forecast, a little bit more rain on Friday, high of 12. Over the weekend, highs of 11 on both Saturday and Sunday under a mix of sun and cloud. Much of the same as we head into the next work week, high of 9 on Tuesday.
Thank you, Daniel. School season is well underway, but Sylvan Learning Center is closed, and some parents fear they're out thousands of dollars they prepaid for their kids' learning.
We've tried to send back emails and there's nothing. We have tried to make phone calls, and all of a sudden now the lines are no longer in service.
Les Thorne prepaid $3,000 for private tutoring for his children this fall. But in August this year, the center abruptly closed. One email sent to parents said the business was closed until August 5th. But that day came and went. A second location on Henderson Highway is also closed. CTV News reached out to the Sylvan parent company, but we have not heard back. Voicemails at the local locations were also full.
If we can't find the company, you can't take action against them. So filing a complaint or filing a lawsuit or small claims court isn't going to be particularly successful if you can't find the individuals that you're trying to put action against.
According to news reports, just within the last month, some Sylvan Learning Center locations closed in Minnesota, with complaints about lost payments appearing online. Drivers take note. A detour is in place starting today along the Perimeter Highway for rail crossing repairs near Dugald Road. Manitoba Infrastructure and Transportation says the detour will be set up at the CN Railway tracks just north of the Highway 101 and Highway 15 intersection. It begins at 6 p.m. tonight and runs through 6 p.m. Sunday while crews work on the rail crossing. One lane will stay open in each direction on the perimeter, with crossovers between northbound and southbound lanes. The province warns drivers to expect delays and plan alternate routes if possible. As the holiday shopping season kicks into gear, a new report by Deloitte Canada says holiday spending is expected to increase by about 3% this year, with Canadians expecting to spend an average of $1,500 on gifts. And more Canadians are turning to artificial intelligence to help them get it all done. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reports.
Amanda Kiley isn't shopping for the holidays just yet, but she's already getting a little help from ChatGPT.
I get it to help me because I have 4 kids, so it makes it easier to get ChatGPT to help me organize it. I do ask where to go.
Deloitte's new holiday retail outlook found half of those surveyed have used artificial intelligence in the past 3 months, up from 33% last year. And about 1 in 4 say they plan to use AI tools this holiday season. But whether it's online or in person, one thing hasn't changed. Most consumers are still chasing discounts.
AI is being leveraged to ensure that you get the most personalized experience from the brand and that they're resonating with you across all channels.
And while some are using AI to do custom searches, compare products, and get inspiration, the survey found only 17% of consumers fully trust AI, and 70% worry about how much personal information it collects.
We'll be at the kitchen table, we'll talk about something we're looking at getting, and then all of a sudden, the next day, something pops up, so obviously it's a little bit spooky.
Others, like Ann Scott, who is picking up an online order, say she doesn't mind the occasional personalized discount as long as the technology doesn't go too far.
I'm not big on artificial intelligence because it drives me crazy that Big Brother is watching everything you might search.
Deloitte says on average, 1 in 4 shoppers now expect retailers to use AI, but earning the trust of consumers could be the biggest deal of all.
I think it's a very interesting concept, but I'm also a little bit concerned what they do with that data.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Taking a look at the current traffic situation around the Norwood Bridge. Pretty busy along this stretch, but moving along at a good clip. No major stalls or crashes to tell you about, but if you have any traffic tips to share, you can text them to us at 10400. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.31. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.24. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.22, and the lowest price in the city is $1.14. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Time now to the answers of our question of the day. We wanted to know, in honor of I Love Lucy Day, what is your favorite retro television show? Marlene's faves are Get Smart, Three's Company, and Happy Days. I like all those. Charlotte says hers is Bonanza. Another viewer's favorite is WKRP Classic. Melissa says Little House on the Prairie. She used to watch it when she was a kid, and now she watches it with her own kids. Such a wholesome show. Keith says My Mother, the Car was my favorite retro show. Harold says he could watch Twilight Zone over and over, while The Munsters is a favorite for his wife, Irene. Mark's favorite retro TV show is The Beverly Hillbillies. Auntie Nina says there's so many: Gilligan's Island, Three's Company, Love Boat, Flintstones, a few of their favorite. Jackie also had trouble narrowing things down, but says some faves are All in the Family, Golden Girls, Twilight Zone, Little House on the Prairie, Bewitched, and Miami Vice. Louise says Leave It to Beaver, one of her favorites, and it conveys family connection. Susan likes MASH. Lindsay says hers is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Also got a kick out of Uncle Phil and Carlton. So many great response, folks. Thanks for sending those in. Okay, we're checking in one last time with CTV's Ainsley McPhail. Hustle and bustle down there at Agape Table. Ainsley, it's so much important work being done.
Yeah, 7 o'clock is when they serve that first meal, and the lineup is long. Dave Fenwick joins us now once again. Now, Dave, I feel kindness in the room. I truly do, from yourself and others around. A Cup of Kindness campaign can extend that through your organization. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, a Cup of Kindness campaign, for as little as $25, you can feed up to 10 to 15 of our guests and help us with our capital campaign right now.
Well, when you talk about guests, I mentioned that line being long. Paint a picture for our audience of just how long.
Right now, we're serving anywhere from 8 to 1,000 people in that 4-hour period between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Monday to Friday.
And the people behind the scenes, they're working away right now. What does it take from the behind the scenes standpoint to feed that many individuals?
Right now, we're in desperate need of food, time, and money. Without food, we can't do what we do. So what you're seeing is people working towards making our soup and doing all the fixings for our soup, putting sandwiches together, putting the bag lunches together, and putting it out to the front door for our guests. Time. With myself, we only have 8 staff, so it's imperative that we get groups coming out and helping us out. Individuals, an hour makes a huge difference to our guests. And right now, with the mail strike and everything going on, and we're in desperate need of money for our operations. We've got the capital campaign going on, but operations are just as important to make sure that we keep our doors open and help out as many guests as we possibly can.
I hope people at home watching, too, can talk to their parents or aunts and uncles and say, hey, I'll help you out if you need help donating as well. The capital campaign that you mentioned, springtime is when that new building should be open. What will it truly allow you to do?
It'll get back to that community feel that we had pre-COVID, where people can sit down, enjoy a cup of coffee together, enjoy a meal, and just be together again, as opposed to just grabbing a lunch and going and having that positive interaction each and every day for our guests is imperative.
Thank you so much. I really encourage everybody to donate to the Cup of Kindness campaign. Once again, really feeling that in this room. Head to a link on our website for more details.
All right, thanks for everything, Ainsley. Such incredible work they do. Daniel Halmerson's made his way up to the rooftop. Looks a little cloudy out there, Daniel.
Well, I'm happy I brought a jacket today. May not need it this afternoon, though, as it's going to get up to around 12 degrees. Says the sun's going to come out. I have a little bit of hope. Cloudy skies right now, though, 6 degrees. Wind out of the north. It's expected to shift back to the southeast at some point, but remain fairly light throughout the day. Much of the same throughout much of Manitoba today. A little sunnier up north, a little cloudier here in the south. That's because we are expecting to see some rain roll in overnight and into Thursday and Friday. So for a midweek day, ideal temperatures for fall, 12 degrees, again, those light winds, and hopefully a little bit of sunshine. And so as we make our way towards the weekend, we should cross our fingers and hope that rain gets through and we can experience a little bit more sunshine before temperatures dip down later this month.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
In the 1990s, pediatric cardiologist Dr. Lori West made a breakthrough discovery. Newborns could receive heart transplants from donors who didn't share the same blood type. Well, 30-some-odd years later, Dr. West thought she was meeting a journalist for an interview on the Heart and Stroke Foundation's 75th anniversary, but that wasn't the case.
Actually, Dr. West, I am not an interviewer. Okay. Your work saved my daughter's life 8 years ago. What? Natalie? Can I get a hug?
I'm so happy to be here.
And now she's going to school, she's going to dance class, she's in swimming lessons.
Hello. I got my heart transplant at 19 months old. Now I've become a big brother.
Thank you for giving people like us a second chance at life. Thank you.
The cafe was full of people whose lives had been saved thanks to Dr. West's research, along with their families. Dr. West joins us this morning alongside Michelle Gillies, whose daughter Natalia's life was saved thanks to the research. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, Dr. West, I'll start with you. What was it like to see up close the lives your work has saved and touched?
It was a really special moment. It was very moving. And it was a complete surprise. I really was not expecting, as these families and children, one by one, got up and spoke to me and told me what they were doing. It was really very moving.
Now, Michelle, what was it like not only to meet Dr. West, but also the other families who went through something similar to what your family went through?
It was pretty amazing. Like my daughter would say, it was magical because Dr. West is like a superhero who saved her life.
Now, Dr. West, you made this breakthrough after considering the malleability of the infant immune system. How did that lead you to your discovery?
Well, as a pediatrician, one of the things we are trained to do is to think of children differently than adults, and they're along a developmental spectrum in all aspects of their lives, and one of those is the immune system. So understanding that concept allowed us to accept a risk that wouldn't be acceptable in adults. By understanding the infant immune system and that it lacked the reasons why you would not propose to do this in an adult immune system was really the important aspect of saying these children need hearts, and we have a potential donor pool out there that they should have access to.
It's so fascinating. Now, Michelle, Natalie was born with a condition that essentially meant one side of her heart wasn't working. How did Dr. West's research help save your daughter's life?
Yeah, so Natalie was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. She was getting too much blood to her lungs, not enough to her body. She was a very blue baby. She went into cardiac arrest at 2 days old, and that cardiac arrest caused damage to the heart, and heart transplant was our only option for survival. So there wasn't many viable hearts available, but Dr. West's discovery made more available to us, and it gave us all the hope.
That's wonderful. Now, Dr. West, your breakthrough was funded by Heart and Stroke. So maybe it seems like an obvious question, but why is it so important to continue funding all kinds of research projects, whether they're big or small?
Well, it's a simple fact that we can't make any progress without research. We need questioning researchers. We need curiosity and inquisitiveness to understand how and why things are and how we can make them better. And whether that's a small step, as you said, or whether it's a larger step, it's all incremental in finding answers to important questions. It's only through research that we can move forward.
All right. Well, Dr. West and Michelle, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Such important information that I'm sure will help a lot of families.
Thank you.
Week 7 of high school football began with a trio of JV matchups Tuesday night. hosting Sturgeon Heights Collegiate won its match against Windsor Park Collegiate 28-6. Brandon's Crocus Plains Secondary won 52-19 against John Taylor Collegiate. And Vincent Massey High School won 28-20 against River East Collegiate. The European Space Agency has released images showing what they believe is a comet speeding past Mars. This comet was first spotted on Canada Day by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. It was within view of a spacecraft orbiting Mars and will also fly by Jupiter before exiting our solar system. It's not a good idea to stick your hand in a lion's mouth, unless, of course, it's your job. Well, vets at the Big Cat Sanctuary in the UK removed an infected tooth from a lioness's mouth. She was sedated during the procedure, of course, so there was no chance of any accidental biting. The lioness and her sister were saved from Ukraine. Vets say she's recovering well and has started to do a little flirting with the lion next door. An environmentally friendly way to get rid of your old electronics is coming to Winnipeg later this month. The Electronic Recycling Association is hosting a free electronics recycling event at the Charleswood Centre. It runs from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. October 24th at 3900 Grant Avenue. Accepted items include laptops, smartphones, TVs, keyboards, routers, and much more. The organization is trying to keep the waste out of landfills and, where possible, refurbish the items to be donated to charities and schools.
And taking a look outside right now, 6 degrees under cloudy conditions. Wind out of the north at 3 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping, the humidity sitting at 93%. It's been that kind of morning, very, very calm, and it's going to get fairly nice here throughout much of Manitoba today. Start up north, 8-degree high in Churchill under a mix of sun and cloud. Much of the same in Gillam and Thompson, 11 up in Island Lake. To the northwest, 9 degrees in Lynn Lake today, Flin Flon, 8 again. Mix of sun and cloud, sunny day though in Norway House, high of 11. As we look to our west, a little cloudier in Brandon and Neepawa, highs of 11 in West Manitoba today. Get up a little bit higher in Dauphin under a mix of sun and cloud, 13 degrees. Here in Winnipeg and the rest of the capital region, we're looking at highs between 11 and 12 degrees under a mix of sun and cloud. A little warmer in Sprague at 13 there, and just over the border in Ontario, high of 12 in Kenora, 13 in Dryden, and 14 in Fort Francis. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast, we are expecting some rain developing overnight into Thursday and much of the same Friday. Highs at 12 both days. Over the weekend, highs of 11 on Saturday and Sunday under a mix of sun and cloud, and much of the same as we start the next work week. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Okay, let's put a bow on this show with a couple of funny videos. This dad just wowed his kids.
I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be.
Jaws on the ground. Ron surprised his kids in the kitchen by belting out this number, singing in front of them for the first time. All those kids have sang on America's Got Talent. Obviously, they got their talent from their dad. I mean, he must be a professional singer with that. Yeah, wow.
You'd think so.
Those pipes? Okay, they might be short in stature, but that's not stopping these pups from racing for glory. More than 100 dachshunds took part in a festival in Germany. The fastest dog completed the 40-meter track in just 4.4 seconds. Just play this on loop, honestly.
Yeah.
I love this. Some very good boys and girls. Okay, can anyone else relate with this little one? This is one tired panda. This cub was born earlier this year and is already a pro at napping. This was taken at a panda research base in China. I can relate.
You know, that's going to be me sooner than later,
30
folks.
seconds from now as we complete. Looks like they're having a nice dream. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.